Oh, young people nowadays always give me some surprises. But that guy's reward can't be given to you for the time being. Who else remembers the famous president of Banjas? Still owe us a reward? In fact, all this is the layout of the president. Look at the picture below. In 2.0 test version of Tower of Fantasy, a picture appeared because of bug. Later, it was repaired and deleted. The source is the text from the jar in the lab of Verbilia. In the process of making the game, a lot of material is bound together. For example, there is a book in the game. Then it will be associated with the map of the text. So all you have to do is use the model of the book. The text map will also be copied. That's how Bug came into being at that time. The jar is the material that the Tower of Fantasy already has. In the lab, it is also because the production staff used this material. All these show that this copywriter is real. And there is such a jar that exists in the game. But as for where, is still unknown. The artificial island is an interesting place. Looks like a home system. But on the island, there are flying dragons of old federal civilization. Camp of ravagers. Gangs of hyenas searching everywhere. There are also embedded ruins and besieged laboratories. Through the copywriting, we can see that this is written by the new executors. In fact, those mentioned in text is just angry mutant and having fun mutant. Lazy mutant. And it is Banjas Tech that subsidizes them. That is, President Collidor. What is the real purpose of artificial island development? What exactly is Collidor's plan? The layout of all this is to start with this reward. I don't know if you noticed. In the early days, Collidor did not like the protagonist. Father, could you please help us find someone? All right, Theo, go home. I have some things to do. I'll talk about it in the evening. We're looking for Zeke. He didn't even care when we broke into Banjas Tech. When I saved him in the basement. Let's see what he says. Why, you are here? Astrum has been given to the heirs of Ida. How come it's you? It's not surprising that he was surprised. After all, we have met each other. But let's look at the next sentence. He said he gave Astrum to the heirs of Ida. It was later known that he had lied. He didn't say anything about the where is Astrum. Why did he lie to us? And we never told Collidor we were looking for Astrum. Take a look at the video. This is the scene of my first meeting with Collidor. The whole time, we didn't mention that we were Hycrose's people. We didn't say we needed Astrum. What we say? Mostly concerned for his son. But when we rescued him. But he took the initiative to tell the whereabouts of Astrum. Why is that? How does he know we're here for Astrum? Now he already knows where we came from. But what I'm curious about is that whether he already knew me the first time we met. Or after meeting with the heirs of Ida. Now let's start the plot interpretation. Closed the Astra Omnium Tower. We went back to the shelter. Said goodbye to Palu. Shelter is not our destination after all. There is still some cover-up for Zeke in Celine's conversation. Zeke is also forced to. I hope he and Shirley will come back safely. Is there really something going on between the two? And then she give us the jetboard relic. Look at the situation and speculate. The relic is also made by Hycrose or the Old Federation. The possibility of leaving behind by ancient civilization is not high. All the way down the river. After an inexplicable boundary, we came to the port of Banjas. This is also where Shirley reached to. By using the problematic space rift. Just in time we meet Hilda, who went out to invite Eiling to participate in the prayer festival. She was surrounded by 2 hyenas. If we hadn't arrived in time, these 2 hyenas may have been killed. The Terminator is not comparable to miscellaneous fish. Notice what the hyenas say here. In exchange for supplies from Collidor. It seems that the hyenas have some wisdom. They also know that kidnapping hostages is used in exchange. I used to think here was a hero to save Beauty. Now I found out that Hilda can escape without the protagonist. Hilda said it was impossible to go to the shelter. This is also her original destination. The details of Tower of Fantasy are quite a lot. But it is estimated that less than 1 in 10 players can see it. It can also be seen in the simulacrum dialogue. The roles are not unrelated. There is some interaction between many characters. In the game of Fantasy Tower, except where there should be a plot. It's all about the plot. Get rid of hyenas. Just come out a leader. Nicknamed White Lightning. It can be regarded as a surprise monster in the early stage. He knows the surprise attack skill of the M-Blade. But he's still hard to avoid my beating. After saving Hilda. Only then did I know that there was a reward for White Lightning. The reward for White Lightning, it was released by Collidor himself. It seems that the hyenas have existed here for a long time. Pay attention to what Mia says right now. Where did she get her information base? If it's Mia's own storage, it is obviously impossible to update in real time. It's obviously connected to the internet. Xiao Feng had speculated before. At present, those who have the strength to build an information base. One is Hycrose. The other is the heirs of Ida. It's sure that Mia can call the Hycrose's data. But the strange thing is that Collidor was not found in the first search. Some people say that Mia typed the wrong word. None of the words are correct in the copywriting. But Mia has a problem with the language module. There is nothing wrong with her input query function. She's still searching for Collidor. It's just that she didn't spell it correct. Here, I'd like to introduce Collidor. He arrived in time when Banjas had a pest and famine. And happened to bring a boatload of food. Is it really all a coincidence? Since he brought a boat full of food. Then he should be a food businessman or a foreign trade person. But the truth is that after Collidor settled in Banjas, Bungi's Tech was founded. And used the data of the vehicles before the cataclysm brought by himself. Developed the vehicle department. Our Hayabusa and the Red Meteor, misremembered, all come from here. Then he hired Kobaltby as the head of the weapons department, responsible for the development of weapons, and has trade relations with Hykros. So it can also be regarded as a military enterprise, and suspected of dealing with other forces at the same time. His rise is not so much luck, as it was all planned. Although it is not certain that Banges' insect plague has something to do with him. But it is obvious to all to use food to achieve the goal of domination. Now Calidor exists like a god in Banges. Such a person should not be unknown according to reason. But Mia's first query did not find any results. For the second time, after adding the label of Banges tech president, Mia retrieved his personal information. Has his personal information been tampered with? In this way, the only thing we can find out is what happened after he was the president. But what did he do before? This is either a secret file inside Hykros. Mia has no right to investigate. Or Calidor once tampered with the files. I guess Calidor was also a famous developer in the past. After the death of his wife Anna, he's thinking about how to treat Theo. The dark side of Hykros is frightening. The transformation of the heirs of Ida is not reassuring. So he finally chose to set up his own power. Happened to meet Banges suffering from famine due to insect infestation. So he bought a boatload of food. Came to Banges like a savior. Found a foothold. The second half of what Mia said here is very interesting. You can find him, Calidor, to know about the Omnium Tower. Cutie, cutie. Why are you more impatient than I am? The protagonist's mind is looking for Zeke, while Mia is still concerned about the Omnium Tower. Is this little Mia crying for Shirley? Hilda is also laying the groundwork for what she says here. In previous years, there were many people in festivals and celebrations. I can testify to that. I also caught a Tata that stole fish. But this festival is unusually deserted. Everything was cleared ahead of time by the heirs of Ida. This time, it's not Ravagers. It's the hyenas. It seems that Asperia's forces will not only be opposed to each other. There will also be cooperation and employment relationship. It reminds me of the monitors at the Astor shelter. At that time, because the space rift broke down, Shirley was sent to this beach. Looks like the hyenas have been preparing for a long time. The plan of the heirs of Ida was launched at the same time in different place, just before Astra was attacked. The plan in Banges has begun to lay out. The starting point of the plan is that the protagonist is caught. Erase the memory. And then the sage began to plan everything. The protagonist was thrown near the Astor shelter. It means the project has officially begun. The man who goes against his fate here is Zeke. Followed Hilda to Banges. Wait. Doesn't she forgetting something? Where's Bai Ling? Hilda is not going to the 201 shelter? If you go, you will find that the shelter is being attacked by hyenas. That's why we didn't see Bai Ling this holiday. Tell Hilda we're looking for Zeke. Pay attention. We still haven't talked about the Omnium Tower. So far, only Mia has mentioned this. But Hilda didn't take it to heart. Hilda decided to help us find Zeke in return. Then follow Hilda met what Calidor cares most about. His sick son Theo. It's not just a genetic disease. It is still an incurable disease. Living under the post-apocalypse is really miserable. Theo said Calidor was dealing with something important. Here are two guesses. One is the development of artificial islands. The artificial island is not important. It is the projects to be invested on the artificial island that matter. I can't believe someone can make suppressors. If this succeeds, it will break Hykros' monopoly. By the way, Astra Shelter is also working on deciphering suppressors. It can be seen that the situation is not calm. The second possibility is the deal with the heirs of Ida. Hand over Astrum. The heirs of Ida helped him save his son. Theo is a kind-hearted rich second generation. Although it feels like cozying up to Hilda. He said yes when he heard that we were looking for Zeke. But look at what Calidor said next. All right, Theo, go home. I have some things to do. I'll talk about it tonight. Calidor didn't even want to help us. The old fox is the old fox. We don't show our identity. And also have the strength to defeat White Lightning. He's already starting to doubt our identities. You can see from the follow-up plot. He knows we're looking for Astrum, too. I guess he already knows the identity of us as an executor. But how did he know that? Is still a mystery. Calidor told Theo that he could attend the celebration if his body allowed. As a result, everyone knows. A dandy father who tricked his son into coming home. Fatherly love is real. It's just a little overprotective. Here, also note the change in Calidor's attitude. Father, he saved Hilda from White Lightning, and you offered a reward for your previously released mission. Oh, you beat White Lightning? After learning that we had defeated White Lightning, he started to have bad intentions. First he said there's no way to cash the reward. This must be a lie. Not only does he have close contact with the black market, and also runs Banges usury. This is something King knows best. It is impossible to say that Calidor has no money. He gave us a combat device. It is called a gift. Actually, they treat us like experimental mice. Later, we did meet the standards of the test. Then we were invited to participate in the Artificial Island project. It's really step-by-step calculation. Xiaofeng has always said that the Tower of Fantasy's core plot is on the Artificial Island. It's because of Calidor's layout. There is a project to develop suppressors on artificial islands. This is bound to be a bloody storm. The Ravagers and the hyenas are already on the island. Unfortunately, the plot should have been abolished later. Jumped directly to Vera. When Theo mentioned looking for someone. However, Calidor doesn't care about that. The protagonist was stunned. Hilda, this President Calidor he. Calidor turns his face as fast as turning a book. Hilda had to come out to ease the embarrassment. Also began to talk about the origin of the festival. Calidor is really capable. In the dialogue of Bai Ling. Bai Ling was once invited to work. But Bai Ling refused because she cared about HT-201 shelter. The plot of Fantasy Tower is not enough on the main line. Other places are full of plots. Unconsciously, at night, we followed Hilda to meet her childhood sweetheart. It's just that the store is a little shabby. and even false advertising. Here we can see that the protagonist's EQ is very high. When the protagonist hears there's work to do, take the initiative to help. And let Hilda owe us a favor. She has to help us find Zeke. When we came back from carrying the boxes, Hilda is gone. Mia said at this time, it shows that Hilda has gone to the dock area to deal with the information for help. There's also an internet in the Tower of Fantasy. Everyone seems to have access to the internet. Only players can't. It's the same in Meroria. When will I be able to surf the internet in the game? Found Hilda and picked up a balloon. Then he was taken to Crow. Crow was from Astra Shelter. His master is a black cat. His hobby is collecting daggers and performing. Used to work for High Crows. Is a strong executor. Similar to S member of the dark part of Naruto. He ended up retired from High Crows. After that, he started to work in acting. Crow's departure must also be a disappointment to High Crows. In fact, throughout the plot, there are few executors who are truly loyal to High Crows. Huma was deceived. Samir was forced. Meryl is looking for her brother. Tsubasa has already left. Pepper wants to save the changed parents. Coco Ritter is immature. Shiro thinks about marine ecology all day. Claudia is still in a coma. Cobalt B can't fight at all. It seems that District 9 is full of talents. In fact, there are no capable members. Maybe Icarus will be the backbone of High Crows. Even Franz is up to something. In that big battle in High Crows, if there wasn't the protagonist, maybe High Crows was really wiped out by the heirs of Ida. But why do I think High Crows deliberately indulged the heirs of Ida to do time retracement? After all, High Crows himself also wants to do time retracement. Just want to wait for the water to calm down. It seems that the decisive battle above the Tower of Fantasy, High Crows is also suspected of deliberately being defeated. Crow said that the previous earthquake short-circuited the converter. What kind of earthquake happened? I couldn't find a clue in the game about the earthquake. If you find it, you can tell me. And then we went to fix the lights. Here's a little detail. There will be electric flashes in the repaired lights. TOF always pays attention to the details in places where no one pays attention. Now pay attention to the two beauties on the left. What they're talking about is still a little hot. Those who are interested can go to the game to have a look. Then we turned on the lights. Frigg, Christmas, have you paid attention to Zeke at this moment? He's already seen us. But he didn't take the initiative to come. Because Frigg is right next to you. If Zeke makes a move right now, it's bound to involve us. Although Shirley's business has something to do with us. But Zeke is still protecting the protagonist at the moment. Many people think that Zeke is impersonal. In fact, he just doesn't want the protagonist involved. But he doesn't know. We're not only involved, but also the most important role in the plan. Follow them to the beach. Zeke is gone. There's a new leader, Garrett. He's the little head of the Banjas area. He's the one in charge of the plan here. But Frigg and Zeke come here. His status is forced to be reduced by 2. The layout of the heirs of Ida in Banjas is very stable. First, the merchants were dispersed by the hyena gang. Make the festivals less popular. And then choose to do it on the day of the festival. In this way, the defense of Banjas Tech is the weakest. Also, they planted a large number of mole in Banjas Tech. It can be said that if there's no protagonist to disturb the situation, the plan is flawless. The next plot is to get beat up. Pay attention to what Frigg said. Zeke is protecting the protagonist. It indicates Zeke's attitude. If nothing happens, we were defeated. But Frigg didn't kill us. It can be found in the simulacrum dialogue. Frigg has some special feelings for us. But she just won't say. By the time we woke up, Mia was already here. And asked Zeke if he was there. At this time, should usually ask who attacked me, right? But Mia's question is like knowing who attacked the protagonist. And confirming whether Zeke is here or not. Although being smart is a good thing. But Mia is a little too smart. Back to Banjas. Followed Hilda to the hotel. Although my English is not very good. But I think this building is a shooting range. Look at this huge sign. It looks like 2 pistols, doesn't it? After tonight, we will officially begin to get in touch with the heirs of Aida's plan. How did the heirs of Ida infiltrate? What is the purpose of Zeke coming here? How does President Collidor choose between High Crows and the heirs of Ida? Everything has to wait for the next issue. That's all for this issue. Follow Xiaofeng. Take you to experience a different